Can everyone see my screen here?
Yep.
Okay,
Can
very
see.
thank you. So very good afternoon to Dr. Kalidasan and everybody who has attended this who's attending today's talk. This is another episode of Nature Hero Talk 3.0, and today Dr. Kalidasan will be discussing with us on how and why we should take care of our rivers. Okay, so this talk is brought to you by NS Malacca branch, and we are a voice for nature. And if you wish to be part of it, you may subscribe for a membership, for an MNS membership. So if you're a family, it's 80 ringgit, and subsequently it be 70 ringgit. And if you're a youth, it's 50 ringgit at first and 10 ringgit subsequently. So for Club Pencinta Alam at school, it's 50 ringgit per year. So if you don't have a Club Pencinta Alam in school, you may contact us and we will discuss with your teacher to set up one. So if you need any more information, you can go to this website to know more. So we are not alone. We are a network of 14 branches across Malaysia. Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay, so the objectives of this talk would be, firstly, to provide basic understanding of the environment around us, the stars, earth, plants, and animals, and how we can take care of them. Second would be to encourage more students to take science streams, specifically in conservation and environmental courses. So the products or the outcomes after this talk would be nature guide and regular camping at Tanjung Tuan PD. So this talk can be accessed through the ecopartners.online. So the main significance or the benefit of this talk would be students will be able to earn extracurricular activities points. So don't miss out on this opportunity. Okay. So about the talk, it will last for approximately 30 minutes and it will be followed by a Q&A session for 10 minutes. So if you have any inquiries or questions, you can key it into the chat box or through FB live page. So for the quiz, as you all know, it will happen at the same time as Q&A session. So once you have submitted, the fastest top 5 will win prizes. And e-certificates will be provided via the ecopartners.online app if you manage to score 70% and above. Okay. So there are two types of certificates, normal certificates and prizes. So the first one would be the normal certificates and prizes. So this certificates will be distributed for every talk session, which will happen every 2 weeks. So there are a few requirements that you have to fulfill in order to receive these normal certificates. So the first one would be you need to score at least a 70% passing mark in a quiz. So a certificate will be issued by the NS Malacca branch. So the top 5 prizes will be distributed to those who score highest mark and is the fastest to answer the quiz questions within 10 minutes given. And you also need to complete follow-up action, which you will be able to earn 50 eco points. And the next certificate would be recognized by the Ministry of Education of Malaysia. So in order to acquire this certificate, you need to attend a 2-hour forum, which will be held on the 30th of October to discuss and refresh all the topics that is learned, followed by a 50 quiz questions. Okay, so take note, 80% of the quiz questions will be from the talks, which is already covered, and 20% will be from the day's discussion, which is on the 30th of October. So once that is done, you have 24 hours to complete the quiz. So do not miss out on this opportunity. And certificates will be recognized by the Ministry of Education of Malaysia, and certificates will be given. For top 5 will be given the competition achievement certificate, and the rest will be given the participation certificate. So, dear students, you are encouraged to attend or watch recorded videos on the topics covered from the 12th of June till date, do the quiz and also the follow-up action. So now you can start registering now for the event in the app itself. So what you can do is you can click on the description saying SDGs, what can you do? And you can click to attend and participate. All right. And then this poster here is to promote the quiz competition. This is done by one of our committee members. So if you're wondering on how you can download your e-certificates or how you can obtain your e-certificates, you can get it from the app itself. So for the normal certificate, you'll be eligible for an e-certificate if you have attended the event and also scored a passing mark of 70% and above for the event that you've attended. And for the certificate with the Ministry of Education support, the link will be attached once you have attended the event and also have managed to answer the quiz questions. Okay. So thank you to Turtle Conservation Society, Dominic O'Sullivan, Salute and MNS Penang for sponsoring today's quiz prizes. Thank you so much for this amazing gift. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed to our social media platforms such as Facebook and YouTube, please do. My co-host Zoe will attach the link at the chat box so you don't have to rush in to scan the QR code. Okay, so the schedule of the environmental literacy talks, this is the schedule. So we have come a long way, and today we have Dr. Kalidasan presenting on life below water. Okay, before that, is your best friend's birthday coming up, or is there any special events that you would like to gift your loved ones? So why not give a gift of life by planting a mangrove for them and sending an e-card? This is an amazing initiative by We Plant for You. So you only need to undergo 6 steps for you to actually plant a mangrove sapling for your loved ones. So let me guide you through this. This can be accessed through the ecopartners.online app. So firstly, what you can do is you can click on the promotions icon. You'll be directed towards this particular image here. We Plant for You Mangrove Restoration Campaign. So you have to click on this. So once you have clicked on it, there will be 4 buttons here. Click on the sponsor button. So once that's done, a few details will pop up here. So firstly would be you have to quantify how much of saplings you would like to order, or you like to plant. So 40 ringgit per sampling for adults and 25 ringgit per sampling for students. So once that's done, you can upload your payment in the app itself by referring to this payment details here. So you can bank into Malaysian Nature Society to the Maybank, and then you can also name your tree. That is optional. And you can also check to send e-gift cards for your loved ones. So you can choose a card, you can email it to them, and also you can state the name of the receiver. So this is, you just need like 6 steps to give something amazing to your loved one and also to our nature. Okay, back to business. So today the speaker of the day would be Dr. Kalidasan Kailasam, and he will be talking on how and why we should take care of rivers. So a bit about Dr. Kalidasan. He has attained his PhD from National University of Malaysia in 2001 and joined Global Environmental Center in 2002. So he's also the manager of the River Care program, where he coordinates GEC's work on lake and river management, pollution control, and environmental education program. Having over 20 years of working experience in river ecosystem management, particularly on stakeholder engagement and environmental education, he's pioneer on civic science and community participation in river management in Malaysia. He has also developed a number of key projects related to river basin, water, wetlands, and solid waste management through innovative, and has wide experience in river basin management, river auditing exercise, and community-based flood preparedness in Malaysia. So currently, he's the project leader of River of Life Public Outreach Program, Phase 5, Water Stewardship Program, developing Upper Tinta Basin Management Plan. He has also developed guidelines, modules, handbook, and published more than 50 technical reports scientific. So I would like to invite Dr. Kalidasan to present his talk today.
Okay, thank you, Linisha, for the introduction, lovely introduction about myself. And first of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Modi and also MNS Negeri Sembilan Malacca branch for the invitation and also the opportunity to be with everyone here in this afternoon here. And in your series of talk, I think as for Linisha have showed, this is the 10th talk, over the months of period there. So I feel great to be part of this, and hopefully today I'm not going to share any technical, and I'm not going to teach any of you. I'm not going to be like a teacher. So I'm here to share some knowledge that we have and certain things that you and I need to know. Okay, all of you, I like to congratulate for joining this. Shows that you really care for the environment. So what I'm going to do in the next 30 minutes to show you, why we should care for our river. Okay, why and what can we do? Okay, I think so. The whole presentation, we will focus on two aspects. One, obviously, as per the title from the organizer, is about SDG 14, which is the ocean. But I will emphasize what role we can do without going to the ocean, how to care for the ocean. Okay, so a lot of time people think, I cannot do anything because now it's MCO, because I cannot go to the river, I cannot go to the ocean. So what kind of contribution I can give? So this one here, I will show you how you and I can do within our means. Wherever we are, we can still contribute to the betterment of the environment, including ocean or through the river. So these are the table of contents. Of course, a short introduction about ourselves, and then about the water and river connectivity and current condition of the rivers, and then youth role, when I'm talking about boys and girls today, and also the teachers who are accompanying them, and also what action that you and I can take, and finally to conclude that thing. Okay, first of all, about ourselves, I'm from Global Environment Center with the vision of a world where our environment is safeguarded and natural resources are conserved and used sustainably through equitable stakeholder partnership for the common goods. And we strongly believe our motto is building partnership for the environment, because none of us can be champion on our own. All of us we need, okay, to work together, build a partnership, not only for human being, but also the flora and fauna. Within GEC, we have various programs, and one of that is a river care program with a mission to promote the protection, restoration, and sustainable use of rivers by enhancing multi-stakeholder participation and knowledge to stimulate local action. And vision is to have a clean, healthy, living, and vibrant rivers, not only for the people, but also for the environment. Okay, and when we talk about river care, our tagline is river care, we care. So we have to take the ownership. It belongs to all of us. So when we say river care, we care. Not we are expecting government to do. Obviously they will do, but all of us, we have to think that is our river. So it's our role, our duty to look after that. So river care, we care. Obviously, the aspect that we cover from the water resource management, protection and conservation, restoration, rehabilitation, river monitoring. We have a lot of tools for that, capacity building and restoration, rehabilitation, and environmental education. For information, I'm the head of the judges or panels of Scholar Lestari, national level Scholar Lestari, the highest award by the Ministry of Education and Department of Environment under CASA. So once you qualify for national level, you're champion national, you get certificate at the ASEAN level. Okay, so that is the highest award, Scholar Lestari. I don't know how many of you have heard, but everyone should aim for that, because that's the highest award in Malaysia, which come with the ringgit Malaysia 10,000 ringgit for the champion at the national level, and then you get certificate at the regional level. Automatically, you will be get a certificate from ASEAN government. Okay, so the first part is about water and river connectivity. First, I like to emphasize on the environment. What is the environment? Because a lot of here you join MNS, join environment group, all these things. First thing, you and I must understand what is the environment. Of course, every individual have different way of understanding. Okay, if I go around, I think around 40-50 of you today, the boys and girls here, but unfortunately, I cannot have two-way communication. But basically, it's everything and anything. Am I right? But in GC, we use the formula ABC. The ABC outside there is air batu campur. But here we are talking about abiotic, non-living things, biotic living things, and the cultural means how non-living things and living things interact and depend on each other and so on. So when we talk about environment, there's a three element: non-living things, living things, and how we interact. The key thing is, how about human being? Are we part of the environment? The answer is yes. We need to see ourselves as an environment. So now we move to a river. Okay, as we know, there's no life without water, right? All living things need water. No? So that's what we call water connection. And therefore, what we call water is life, river is lifeline. Protect our rivers to protect our life. I repeat again, water is life because there's no life without water. Okay, water is life, river is lifeline. Okay, and protect our rivers to protect our life. You know, so when you care for a river and you care for environment, it's not only you are protecting the environment, you are protecting and caring for ourselves, for your family, for your society, and so on. Because without plants and animal, okay, human cannot exist. Okay, so now we talk about water resources, rivers in Malaysia. Okay, we've been blessed with plenty of rain here. We are receiving in average around 3,000 millimeter per annum. Okay, and total water, we never lack of water in this country. When we calculate the total annual rainfall, it's coming to 990 billion cubic meter. That's a lot. And this 990 billion cubic meter is a source for all our rivers. If you look into the number of rivers in Malaysia, we have more than 2,986 rivers with a 189 river basin, a big river basin, more than 80 kilometers square. Okay, and as everyone knows, at a global as well as a national, okay, river play a major and important role in shaping and influencing the development of nation and the culture of its people. All civilizations start from river, am I right? Okay, and of course, as per global scenario, all major towns in Malaysia also located along or beside the river, and river play important role on not only economic development, social, cultural, religious belief, as well as natural environment. And he does provide water for drinking purpose, domestic use, agriculture, industrial, and also other services, transportation, recreational, power supply, breeding area for animal, and so on. Okay, and when we talk about the river basin, because for information, river doesn't exist by itself. Okay, it doesn't exist by itself, so it exists as a river basin. And when we say river, it's all interconnected, as I mentioned earlier, from the source to sea. All is interconnected, either by longitudinal between upstream, downstream, and middle stream, or lateral connectivity between a river and the wetland or floodplain left and right of the river. So it's all interconnected. And when we talk about river basin, it means the land from which all surface runoff flow through a sequence of streams, quite number of streams or small alur in Malay they call rivers, and possibly lakes and ponds into the sea at one single river mouth, estuary, or delta. So that is a river basin. So all of us are belong to river basin. The only difference is which river basin you are belong to. Obviously, you and I will be different because I'm from Selangor. Definitely, my river basin, my working river basin is a Selangor river basin, but I'm living in Langat river basin. Okay, and after the river, the last discharge point is obviously the ocean. As we know, our Earth, 72% is covered by the water. Of course, that's why we call blue marble. What it called, and it provides a lot of benefit. And we need to understand. A lot of people don't understand this. The air we breathe, the oxygen, more than 50% actually come from the ocean. A lot of people don't think, they think come from plants in the terrestrial or in the land. No, more than 50% from the ocean. Similarly, the CO2 carbon dioxide also been absorbed more than 50 times by ocean compared to the atmosphere. So ocean is vital. It also helps to regulate the climate by heat, absorbing the heat and regulating the heat, and also important source of food, and also incredible number of biodiversity, and also other benefit like economic benefit. It provides a lot of jobs, medicine, transportation, recreation, and so on. Okay, so what is the current condition? obviously a lot of time when we talk to people not only from Malaysia but from other country, because I also travel to other country and we do a lot of trainings also. Generally, people think the river is clean and healthy. That's what the perspective people have. Okay, they always think that it's the government's role to look after the thing and so on. And when you watch TV and think, always that. But in reality, what you and I can see is this: rivers in all colors, rainbow colors, all these things, which is we are not proud of. But reality, river is sometimes is polluted, as we know. Okay, and when we look into the issues, okay, in Malaysia, based on certain studies, all the time there's a series of studies being carried out. River water quality is been identified always as one of the major issues when it comes to water resource management in the country. Besides that, disaster management like flood, drought, and also waterborne disease. Beside the biodiversity of aquatic life and also terrestrial, and also what you call wetland management, and the latest one, the threat of the climate change. On the other hand, how do we pollute the river? It's come from three main sectors. One is commercial industrial pollution, and then agriculture, as well as the residential, where you and I are responsible. Okay, and most of the time we think not only industrial, also only industrial are polluting our river. Actually not. Okay, especially in urban area, residential area. Okay, kawasan perumahan, that where you and I live, also one of the key factors besides agriculture. And when we say that we are polluting the river using the solid waste, liquid waste, and also other factor waste in a solid phase, liquid, and also other phase to encroachment, and also what they call extraction and so on. Okay. And if you look into the water quality study by DOE, Department of Environment, okay, of 2019, it shows that only for 61% of the river being monitored by DOE is categorized as a clean river. That's the balance of 39% is either slightly polluted or highly polluted. Okay, and the main pollution because of the BOD, biochemical oxygen demand, ammonium nitrogen, or suspended solid. But what I want to show here is, although these ones sound very scientific, one of the visual observation we always face problem that is the rubbish. And when we look at the composition of the rubbish, okay, the percentage wise, of course, I would say that in average, more around 50% is organic waste, food leftover. Okay, followed by the paper and plastics around 10%. Okay, and this is what, as I said, river finally discharge and ends in the ocean, and this ends up in our ocean. And if you look into the, I just sharing one of the phenomena we call Great Pacific Garbage thing there. You can see like an island of rubbish or plastic, formed. Okay, in a Pacific Ocean there. Okay, and one of the key factors you need to understand, okay, is this: the connectivity between river basin and then obviously the ocean or marine ecosystem. And any poor or lack management of waste on land will end up in the ocean. And study shows that 80% of the waste is plastic. Okay, so we also need to understand. So it means we are not only polluting the river due to the plastic and so on, but also we also destroy the marine ecosystem, and at the same time it also affects human health. Like you use detergent, bleach, and so on. Actually, you will affect the coral and so on. So all these things, whatever you and I do in our house, in our commercial area, industrial area, actually affecting our ocean. So if you love your ocean, you care for your sea, and then care for a river. That's what I'm trying to say that. Okay, no point you love your ocean, but you throw everything into your river. When I say river, the key thing is your drain. Drain, if you see at the bottom of the screen, water is life, as I mentioned, river is lifeline, and drain is the artery. The whole thing started from their drain. From the drain, you go to the monsoon drain. From monsoon drain, go to the first river, and then go to the second river, and finally ends up in the ocean. Am I right? So if you want to take care of the thing, you want to care for ocean, you want to care for river, take care of your drain. if all the drain is clean in this country, definitely river will be clean. I will show you why river will be clean if the drain is clean, because river is a living entity. Yeah? And then the other issue that, on the water consumption, obviously in Malaysia, boleh, we always waste. We love to waste everything. Waste money, waste water, all these things now. Okay, and produce a lot of waste as well, rubbish and so on. So if you look into that, this is the official data for 2020, how much water we use per day per capita. And each of us in Malaysia, an average 244 liters of water being used per day per person in this country, which is more than 50% of the UN recommendation. UN only recommended around 160 liters per day per capita per person, but Malaysia boleh 244. And when we look into the how we waste water in a home, if you see that 26% is in the toilet. Everyone knows what we do. Okay, sometimes people practice singing in the toilet and let the tap run. And then when you brush your teeth, similarly. So there's a lot of water wastage happening in the toilet, which is 26%, followed by the what they call washing machine, 22, and then car wash, gardening, and other things. No, but how about for the schools? Because you are mainly coming from the schools. No, so these are our studies. We did detailed studies shows that even higher than the what they call home usage. 67% are usage are in toilet. I think obviously everyone knows, everyone love to go to toilet when you are in their school. So 65-7% of water usage in the school are happening in the toilet and so on. Okay, and these are the general issue when it comes to water in that. Of course, the flood case. I think more than 400 cases for the on 2016-17, and obviously we have water cut. Okay, more than 4,000 in average, more than 4,500 cases per year where we have water cut. I think Malacca Negeri also is similar. There's a lot of issue on water supply as well. Okay, and river pollution and also the thing. And what is caused this the impact, pollution impact effect is, number one, it caused the problem on the bioavailability of the water, water supply, cost increase, volume decrease, and so on. And the flood, okay, ecologic issue on the habitat, economy, because there's no water means there's no production, no industry, nothing. So there's no income for the parents and so on. Also impact on the social health and also aquatic animal. And now the latest scenario about COVID, impact of COVID on the environment on the river. Do they have? Yes. Initially, we thought there's a short-term impact, which is so good. People welcome because suddenly there's a reduction in the pollution load into the river, into the air, and so on. Improve or the water quality, river air quality, and so on. But nightmare come back again after some time. No, we saw the other effect, the bad effect of the COVID-19, because we have new type of pollution coming in, the mass, single-use utilities, disposal product in the market due to the safety and so on. So these become new problem, new phenomena. Although there is some improvement, that is the also the setback. And if you look into the issue on that effect of the COVID on the water pollution, soil pollution, as well the air pollution. But as I mentioned, it also shows a good impact on certain things. Okay, obviously they improve. I mean, everyone have seen, I believe everyone have a phone that you have seen that, the Italy, also in Malaysia, there's a significant improvement in terms of water quality and air quality. Even India, from Tamil Nadu, you can see even Himalaya thing there, because their air is so clean and so on. So all these things reflect what? This is how the nature works. Okay, and this where animal live. Okay, but do you know how about us? This where human live, where we are six sense creatures of God who can think, but this how we behave. Compared to the five sense animal who can look after her environment. And due to the COVID, scenario, is well proven that the whole issue in this world are due to the human factor, anthropogenic activities. Therefore, we can conclude that the whole nature can heal herself, provided that we control our human activity, because it's proven, nature showed to us that she can look after herself as long the anthropogenicity is minimized. Okay, when there's no human activity, environment can improve herself, can look after herself. So therefore, I'm going to show you what we can do. River care, we can. As what I mentioned, that if the real cause is the human factor, then the solution also must be human factor. Am I right? You cannot expect animal to change the world, because the real culprit is the human being. So what you and I can do, we must understand that what we can do, we can be the change agent. People can be the driver, the force to change the thing. And I'm going to emphasize about youth role, that every action counts. Okay, so obviously approach, we can use the civic science where you need to have awareness. I believe so most of you already are aware a lot of things, and you must also have knowledge, empower with the knowledge, by attending this kind of webinar talks. And also there's a lot of knowledge available in the website and so on. But the key thing is the skill. Empower yourself with the skill, because with the awareness, knowledge and skill, it lead to the action. And when we talk about action, the most important is about the behavioral changes. Localize your action, lead to think globally, act locally. And when we say action, it must be science-based. You must combine the applied science, civic science, social science together with the traditional science, or sometimes they call backyard science. So use science to act, because you are a global citizen. And when we look into that, we need to balance the hard approach, soft approach, and the hard approach. So you are human being, you and I should engage ourselves into the river management or environment management. So how? Be proactive citizen. Be responsible, be proactive. First thing is you need to understand the concept of ecosystem and holistic management of that, and know your environmental status of yours, and then look into your action. So I have listed a lot of action. Don't worry, you can get it, a copy from the secretariat. I will emphasize certain things, because I'm moving very fast. I will emphasize certain action that you and I can do, and also open your eyes about when we do action. A lot of people understood wrongly when we talk about action. What kind of action is that? So here I will emphasize simple yet effective. And when we talk about our role, we have to understand, we are talking about different hierarchy. One, as an individual, as you and I, which you have control, correct? So individual, be responsible, volunteer, and so on. And then when you as an individual, and then look into the family level, because when my wife say most of the time I don't listen, but when my kids say, I listen. So when you say your parents definitely love you, will listen to you. So you are the agent change. You can change the world by changing the parents in first one. After that, you can change the society, whether community group in your residential area or the school, through the teachers and so on. The fourth one, the nation. From the society, go to the nation level, national level, state, national, and finally the global. Think globally, act locally, or think locally, act locally. Doesn't matter, as long as you act. The first thing you need to understand, the water cycle. Water provides the most precious of all our natural things. It is infinite, but very vulnerable resources. Okay, it's infinite because you cannot create or destroy the water. You only can change from one shape to another one. Correct? You only can recycle that, but it's very vulnerable. Okay, we will face problem with the potable water. Okay, so I think from small, when you are in the kindergarten, I believe all of us have been exposed into this water cycle. Okay, am I right? But unfortunately, that is the biggest mistake, because the real water cycle is how we do. Okay, we need to look into that. As I mentioned, the connectivity, everything is interconnected, and we need to learn to reconnect with the nature, and we are part of the water cycle, boys and girls, and also respected teachers. and others, we need to start to educate our future generation that we are part of not only of the environment, as I mentioned earlier, but also we are part of water cycle. Whatever we do here, for your information, whatever we do there, whether you do in your house, whether you do in the river, whether you do in the agriculture area, everything, it come back to us. So we are part of the water cycle. Therefore, you need to be proactive and ensure that you care for that, because it come back to us. Okay, and simple understanding this, whatever you do here will come back to you. So if you want to complain about this, make sure that you do your part. If you don't take care of this, you are the one who decide what should come out from your tap, all this thing. Believe me, we are responsible for our own action. If you don't have water, it's not because animal too or something, it's because human being fail to look after the river, fail to be responsible. That's number one. And second thing, when we talk about water, the few things now, you need to know the difference between water and potable water. As I mentioned, water is infinite, a lot, everywhere is water. But potable water that we consume, you cannot drink every water, isn't it? Okay, so that's the difference. So don't think when there's a water, I mean you are safe. Not necessary. For your information, in Africa, people have to walk 6 hours to get 14 liters of water, and that's not a very clean water. Similarly, in India, Pakistan, okay, people need to walk hours. I've seen that when I was in Africa. I've seen that. Okay, where here, when you open your tap and no water, we complain. And we don't appreciate. That's number one. Second, when we talk about is also money, is also income for the country. We have to understand that, so therefore we need to protect. And secondly, when we talk about water, is also a commodity. It's a social, because we need to know the value of water. As we know, no water, no life. So how you value for water? That's very important. But for your information, currently, the water being seen as a commodity from the economic point, which although GC we against it, but that's a reality that is been trade in the future market of the Wall Street. So scary, So if you and I don't look after that, this one time where we need to buy water. Okay, and of course, when we talk about water, is the SDG goal. I think everyone you're talking about 14, but water is fundamental for all the 17 goals, and also our obligation for the global reporting. And finally, is for this one is water is a national security. Okay, the third one is, what is the source of water? 97% of water in Malaysia come from the river. So for you, you come through tap or rain, surface water, or groundwater. But if you look into the process, water and land are state matter. Water distribution come under the federal government. From the dam or river, go into water intake, and then treated, and then be distributed. Okay, but the issue now is, you and I have to understand that 80.8% of our water come direct from the river. Only 17.9% coming from the dam. So don't think your water come from dams, please. 80.8% coming direct from the river that you are looking at. If you don't look after your river, that is what water you're going to drink. And that's the reality. Dot. As simple as that. So percentage-wise is this. So please take note that you have to care for river, not only care for ocean, but also river, because your drinking water comes from that. And as I mentioned, river is a living entity. It have values and things. And when we talk about on the quality, quantity, and physical condition of the river, and when we say natural river, it's a living entity. You have meandering riffles and pools full of flora and fauna. And also for information, next time when you go to river, try to listen to the voice of the stream. As a river thing, river have a cleansing power. River can look after herself, can clean up herself. She have the power. River have cleansing power. They can look after the thing. So as long as you and I can take care of our drain, river can look after herself. Because God created in such a way, river can look after herself. She have cleansing power that we call wetland plants and so on. Okay. The next one, stakeholders. All rivers are not same, but who own rivers in Malaysia? We need a proper understanding on stakeholder and success model. So when we talk about private sector, government, and public, whether federal government, state government, universities, public, all these things. All these things can be grouped as a one group called human being. Beside human being, there are also another major two group. They're also custodian or the beneficiary of the river, which is flora and fauna. Always remember that river is not only belong to us, but also belong to flora and fauna, because they are much earlier than us. Therefore, you and I have to learn to work with the nature and not against it, and also learn how to coexist, co-live with this flora and fauna, not make use of that, destroy it, which end of the day, we're going to destroy our life too. And we need to ensure the balance of the need of human being, animal, plants, economy, social, religious, as well as the environment. And also you and I also need to know the river basin address. So I would say that follow up to the thing, you also start to find out what's your river basin. You have your river address, right? Learn about river basin address. Three things. What is the river name? From your house, your school, through the drain to the river until the ocean. That's number one. You need to know the whole process. Second, where your drinking water come from. And when you flush, that's number three. When you flush, where your sewage water or the dirty water ends up. These are the three things. Example for MNS HQ, this is their river address. Okay. So from MNS Sungai Bras, and then Sungai Klang, and then Strait of Malacca. So each of you should find your river address. Now Assam is looking into this. Okay, so I will play one video. Sorry. I'm sorry, just give me a second. Okay.
Do you know which river basin you're living in? You know what street you live on and what state you call home, but do you know where you live ecologically? Your river basin is one part of your ecological address. A river basin is all of the land that rainwater flows across, or under on its way to a river that eventually leads to the ocean. We all live in a river basin. To identify which river basin you belong to, you need to find out your river address. It starts with identifying nearest river located to your home. Next is to identify the nearest river that receives the rainwater. Find out also if the first river leads to the second river. Follow the river flow until it reaches the ocean. You also need to know where your drinking or tap water comes from. Knowing where your local water supply will help you to know any possible threat the water supply faces. Know what your community is doing to protect your water supply. Help others to be aware of the importance of clean water in your community. Lastly, find out where your wastewater goes to. The purpose of wastewater treatment is to improve quality of effluent water that will be discharged without endangering human health and natural environment. Be aware of any threat that may cause problems to your wastewater treatment, and be aware of your wastewater treatment plant's effort to provide safe environment. Remember, it is important to protect the quality of our river basin. The health of your river basin depends on your action.
Okay, I think I skipped this. Okay, so the next one is water consumption. See, this is another key thing. I would say for today's talk, this slide is the most important for you to understand, because a lot of time people don't understand. When we talk about water consumption, how much water you use, a lot of people thinking about the water that we drink, we bathe, all these things. That's we call direct water that we use in the home. But there's also another water that we use, we call indirect water, or in English, sometimes we use virtual water. In Malay, air maya, okay, virtual water. That use relatively the total volume of fresh water that used to produce the goods and services that consumed by us. Okay, and what I want to ask, for information, this is the total calculation, water footprint for Malaysia. Total is 5,800 liters per capita per day is total water being used. Every single people in Malaysia per day is 5,800. My question is, how much that you think that is being consumed directly, like through drinking, and how much indirect water you think? Can you guess? I give you 10 seconds. If you can share in the chat, can. Otherwise, you just write down in your notes, and then later can compare. I'll show you the figure. How much you think that you use directly, and how much you think the water that we consume indirectly? 10 seconds. Are you ready to know the reality? It shows that 96% of water that we are using are indirect, which people don't know. So the one you think that you're using water is just 4% of actual water that you and I use. So you want to be smart to care for the river water. So you don't only concentrate on the direct water. You know how much you use, don't waste things, which still carry on, but look into the indirect water. So I'm going to show you how to control the indirect water now. So if you see all the food that we eat, all the dress we wear, whatever you're using, everything consumes water. And if you can see the list here, okay, if you look into the plants base, the water needed to produce 1 kilo of that is much lesser. For example, okay, compared to the animal base, meat base, you know, a lot of fruit, all these things. So you next time you also need to look, when you want to conserve water, look into what you eat, what you do day to day, whether you drink coffee, whether you drink water, or you drink milk or tea. It makes different when come to the water footprint. And the best part is when talk about food, you need to be very careful. Due to the time consumption, I just round up that if can reduce your meat consumption, because you will reduce the water footprint almost more than 3 to 4 or 5 fold. Okay, so if possible, I know I'm not encouraging you to be vegetarian, but what I'm saying, try to have less meat in your diet. Not only good for your health, but also good for the Mother Earth, good for the what they call river and so on. So these are the things. So it's not you go out there, do something for the river. You need to get down into the river and do something for the river, or go to the ocean, do cleanup. That is one way of doing. The other one is what you and I do in our daily activity also have a significant impact. For me, that is the real contribution of you and I for the Mother Earth. Not going out, that's another way. But make sure that you and I have a discipline to control. The number 8, I have to move fast, pollution management. So we also have to control. When we talk about ocean, we need to manage our waste. You know, of course in GC we say 4R2C: rethink, reduce, recycle, reuse, compost, and closing the loop, and then upcycling and so on. So these are the detail. What you and I can do, can change the waste into upcycling and sell the product. In fact, we have a green eco park. It's all made of used product or waste product and so on. And beside that, on the water management, we can look into the water conservation. Install the water thimble. You can see there. These are the water thimble and so on. These are all water saving equipments, and also rainwater harvesting. All like this, reuse the water like this one. In Japan, there is very common in overseas, but not so much in the thing. These are water management. And then finally, restore, rehabilitate. What you can do, you can clean up the river, you can plant the trees. Okay, as I mentioned, that tree is important as well. Although I'm from river, I'm also say tree planting also equally important to reduce the erosion, to protect the river riparian, and reduce the flood impact and so on. Tree planting also important. Water body cleanup. I would say one of the key things that you and I have to care is look after your drain. Make sure your drain always clean. And please understand, drain meant for rainwater only. Nothing should end up in the drain except rainwater. Always remember that. Please write in your blood. Drain is for rainwater only. So clean up your drain. Habitat creation, because river also belong to the flora and fauna, baby dragonfly, neem, prawn, crab, all these things. So these are the, you can have community riverbank garden, river monitoring. You can also river monitor. You can visit our GC website. We provide all the tools all for free. You can download, use it, how to monitor the river in your backyard, in your school, all these things. Of course, you are free to contact us if you need training, because even we develop this with the Ministry of Education as well. So monitoring. And the last one, I will say that this is another one. Quantify your action. Calculate how much water you use. Do water auditing. There is a handbook available in our website to calculate the water usage in a school or in a home, and calculate at least your water footprint. I'll give you one example. These are the links that when you go to the water footprint website, you will ask simple question. No, you just fill the activity that you do. It will calculate the whole water footprint, not only for how much you use for drinking, but also for the food coming from the industrial, that you actually contributed to the industrial pollution and so on. From the cereal type, how much water, because this is mine, I'm vegetarian, so you see meat, I'm zero. So I'm not responsible for that and all these things. So I will strongly encourage everyone calculate your water footprint. And finally, these are the tools for the activity that you and I can do for the schools and so on. Just scan this link and you can download all the material. So these are the environmental education material, all the module, PowerPoint, everything available and free to use. Okay, as I mentioned, I'm also the chief judge for the Sekolah Lestari at the national level. And also these are other tools available. Unfortunately, I already coming to the end. It's already extremely late. Maybe if you are interested, you can contact us if you need more information how to use the tools. Okay, finally when we talk about nature, no? God created nature. We are part of nature, right? And what nature is saying to us? The lesson is recycle. God created this and told to recycle. Proof, water being recycled, correct? Water cannot be destroyed or created. We cannot create water or destroy water. What we can do is change from one thing. That's what we call recycle. Similarly, air also. You know how oxygen and carbon dioxide, right? Through photosynthesis and respiration, it's all recycled. So you and I, God give clear message. Nature give clear mandate to everyone. You and I must start to recycle. Not only recycle our waste product, but also recycle the water, recycle the air. That's why we need the right tools. 3 is the agent, and human being as an agent. So adopt a nature-based solution. Work with nature and not against it. And the conclusion, personal, what you and I should do, be responsible, either start managing all resources today wisely, sustainable management of water resources. I already showed for the last 25 minutes. Know your river address. I hope that if you can find email to us, I will be more than happy to receive. Also acknowledge, we can give certificate, and then change your lifestyle. See, change your lifestyle, green or organic consumer, be vegetarian or eat less meat, eco shopper, zero waste, calculate your water footprint. And finally, the bottom line, environment belongs to all of us, not only to human being, but also the animal and plants. Water is a basic for life. Water are connected with everything and anything. So any mismanagement, okay, will affect every living thing, not only human being, but also flora and fauna. And when we talk about river basin management, should be guided by both values, human and river ethics. So we need to respect the river, okay, because she have her right, okay, and also nature-based solution, and also balance the structural and non-structural and hard approach. Love your river. By love your river, love your drain, and also start caring for the earth. Act now before it's too late, because you and I can make the difference. And finally, after listening, not only you enjoy the talk by myself or the previous 9 speakers, but the most important is this, your attitude. Just don't only listen, enjoy, but just do. Regardless how big or how small, at least you do. Walk the talk, okay? No talk, action only. Just do it. Do it for yourself, do it for society, do it for future generation. So I will be more than happy if at least you just at least start one action, simple thing. Stop taking a lot of meat, example, or recycle. Just do, or plant something. Just do it. That's the most important. No point you say thumbs up for the talk, all this thing, without improving your behavior changes. So at least do one simple thing. Hope after the talk, you at least change and do one action, and please share with the organizer what changes that you have adopted or what action you have taken. And with that, we always say the healthier environment, better economy, more cohesive society. Water is life, river is lifeline. Protect our river to protect our life. Together we achieve more. With that, thank you. God bless.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Kalidasan, for the very informative and insightful talk. We are very privileged to have you here on you sharing about rivers and how we should take care of them. So, dear participants, take note of what Dr. Kalidasan has said and take action. Not only listen to talks, but also take action from and also learn from what you have and learn and apply what you have learned from throughout this whole topics that you have participated. So, Dr. Kaiser, can you unshare your screen so that I can?
Yeah, I already unshare.
Oh, all right. Just a moment.
I'm right. I already stopped sharing.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Taking a bit of. Okay. So let's move on to the next agenda. Just a moment. Okay. Can everyone see my screen here?
Yep.
Okay. Great. So you can click on the description here, how and why we should take care of rivers, and you can click on this. This will be your follow-up activity, my water footprint. Yeah. So this will pop up here. So what you have to do is you have to calculate your water footprint using this link attached here. So go to this link here, update your water footprint in the app. Okay, key in your water footprint, name your favorite Nature Hero Talks topic. You can also select your location and turn on current location, right? So this will be your follow-up action. So once you have done this, you will receive 50 eco points. So now I would like to invite Zoe to carry out the Q&A session with Dr. Kalidasan. Zoe, you can take it away.
Okay, thank you, Linesha, and a very good afternoon to everyone. I'm Zoe, and I'll be taking over the Q&A session for today. First of all, I'd like to thank all of our participants for sticking with us till the very end of our session. But most importantly, thank you, Dr. Kalidasan, for such a stimulating and informative talk. We can tell that you're really passionate about it, and we really enjoyed your talk. Okay, so please allow me to begin with our first question of the day. Sorry, please mute your mic. Can you mute your mic?
Dear participants, please unmute your mic, please. Thank you.
Sorry, Savarna, can you please mute your mic? Okay, cool. So our first question is coming from SP Hyun. So he basically says, very interesting talk. Do you think that more money should be spent on cleaning up the rivers rather than building more new dams for water, since a majority of our water source still comes from rivers rather than dams?
Okay, thank you for the question. I didn't get the name whoever asked, so thank you. Anyhow, interesting questions. Okay, I partially agreed to his idea that we should stop building dam. Obviously, I totally agree with him. But to spend more money on the river also, I don't really agree. So what's the most important is the prevention. all of us, we have to take the responsibility to make it, because who pollute our river? It's not our cow or buffalo, it's we.
Yes,
and
exactly.
actually we individually, and also the industry that who can exist because we buy from them.
Mhm.
In England, in other, the people's power, not only politically and for voting, but also on the consumer. They put pressure on that if we can decide to buy from the green producer, and then the factory or the industry will careful before they discharge the effluent. So in something, I agree with him, but it will be good if the government can emphasize on the empowerment and also enforcement on the monitoring. So partially they can invest money on the river to enhance the value of the river. But key thing, I would say that government should look into the enforcement so that everyone are responsible. Don't discharge anything into the river. Make sure drain only for rain water. That's it. Dot. If river drain clean, river will clean, because river have natural characteristic, can cleanse herself, can clean herself. No, that's a God's power. He created in such a way. So I would say that partially I agree. So I hope you as well can play your role. Make sure that nothing from your house ends up in the drain. And also when next time when you want to purchase something, think carefully, think twice whether you need it. If you need, then look into the other thing. Now, what kind of consumer thing that you and I can do. So for me here, obviously in different platforms, I emphasize what the government should do, but here I will emphasize what you and I should do first, rather than telling other people what they should do. Look at ourselves first. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Just like you were talking about the government, so I'm just actually wondering, how do you compromise or negotiate with other sectors, for example, the agricultural sector, when you face conflicts or just like mismatchments in opinions? Because clearly sustainability isn't something that most of the majority focus. So how do you deal with these kind of things?
I think as we know, we have to look into two aspects. One is demand management. Okay, all sectors, whether agriculture, industrial, or even residential, they have their own demand. If I mentioned that in terms of the water demand, I think 62% of our water resources go to agriculture, followed by the industrial, which is 21, then only coming to residential. But if you look into the common thing among these, all the three sectors here, industry, agriculture, is the people. We are the deciding factor. So I think the government, like in certain countries, like in India or certain other countries, no, they decide, the government decide how much water should be extracted by industrial for this year. How much agriculture should be extract water from the river. It's pre-decided, it's well planned. For 2022, we expected, say, X million gallon of water, example. So from that, 20% goes to this. They pre-decide. So it's well planned. That is your sustainable planning. So I think that is where the government, at this point in Malaysia, we haven't started yet. I think slowly we are moving there. So it can be done. And of course, they also have to ensure that the industry also look into the water stewardship and water balancing. It means if they take X liter, 10 liter from the river or from the earth, and then they must return 10 liters back in other way as well.
Oh, I see. Oh.
Yeah, there is a system that, okay. So far, only one company, which I cannot name it, which company, have done it in Malaysia. Okay, 100% water balancing. So we need more company to come forward to do their part. So I mean, it's a net impact on the environment.
Yes. Oh, that's really good for the environment. So moving on to our next question. It's from Akashi, Mel Akashi. So what does direct water and indirect water mean?
Okay, thank you, Akashi. I think it's very simple. Direct water means the water that you can see when you use. Okay, when you bathe, when you drink, when you wash, all these things. What you can see and you can feel the water. That is a direct. Indirect water means when I wear my clothes, do you feel the water? No. When you purchase a product, do you feel the water in the product? No, unless it's a liquid. So, but you must understand in the process of production, when they produce, the product never exists like now you see, now you don't. Let's say, for example, what's your favorite food? Example, your say fruit like apple or something. Okay, where it come from? It's come from the nursery, seedling, and then go into plantation, and then harvested, and then packaging, all this. So all this while there is an involved water. That is called indirect water. Every product have water in it, come with a water label on that. So if you want to be smart, also help the agriculture. I give you one example, like compare between coffee and tea. In order to produce coffee, you need more water. So let's say if I drink coffee and let's say Joe, you drink tea, who's better? You. Because tea need less water. But obviously if somebody else drink plain water, they are champion because that is a minimum water footprint. You are still not good, is it? So that is what that. So that is indirect water, mean that we use but you can't see. That's why they call virtual water, which you can't see, but it is that.
When
and in terms of statistics, 97%, 96% of our water consumption is virtual that you and I never realize. That's why we tend to waste a lot of water.
Exactly. Yeah, because we don't see it. It's during the process of producing something. So we don't see the process, but we only see the result. That's why we don't see the water actually wasting when you buy something. Okay, thank you. So the next question is from Harris. A very energetic, informative talk, as always, Dr. Khalid. Recently, we're seeing increasing cases of water pollution, some causing disruption to city water supply. Are there any plans to revise the Malaysian water quality standard, industrial effluent discharge limits, and sewage effluent discharge limits?
Okay, thank you. That's a very technical question. Fantastic. Anyhow, although I'm an NGO, I need to be fair, okay, to give enough credit, due credit to whoever have done good job. So to respond to him, I have to admit lately, I think since last 2 years, the government through the Department of Environment are seriously looking into the effluent standard and the water quality standard, everything. They are revisiting. In fact, they are increasing the strengthen the loophole within our water quality standard and so on. Both the potable water, also the sewage thing there. In fact, there is also a pilot project that already been undertaken in various basin. One is in Malacca River, the other one in Klang River. So I have to admit the government are doing, although it's due to so long, but finally looks like we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I will strongly say that. And also the other one factor, just for all the information for all the participants, especially the teachers, currently the Malaysian government also have established what we call National Water Sector Transformation 2040. So it's a 20 years plan about water resource management in Malaysia. And for first time, Malaysian government ever have endorsed people as the driver for water sector. Clearly mentioned that, okay, and they recognize the people's power. They say the people's role, and they allocate. And then recently, when the Honorable Prime Minister tabled the 12th Nation Plan in the Parliament, a lot of the water sector transformation action plan been addressed in the 12th Nation Plan. Obviously, the government are looking into. In fact, for your information, it will be very soon. In fact, they already encourage the industry to recycle, and of course, the IWK through the SPAN already started a project to supply the treated sewage water for the non-potable usage for the industrial. So there's a lot of good things happening. Although I'm an NGO, I have to tell the truth and also take this opportunity to congratulate certain agencies who are very proactive and started to act accordingly. So I can see that there's a lot of good things happening, but still not enough. Still enough. And that's why we need people, all of you and I, to show that we also responsible, do our part, so that the government can do their part as well.
So the community's voice is also important.
Yes, it's clearly mentioned. That's why I congratulated previously to the government. First time ever in Malaysia, I mean, I'm more than 60 years, okay, within that. So, but it's the first time ever, no, it's written acknowledgement to the people in Malaysia that you are the driver. So it means they say you are the agent change for the country. So
Yes,
therefore,
so-
we need to accept that, and we do report. Don't only acknowledge, but you don't do. That's why today I emphasize what you and I should do.
Yes, actions. Actions is the
Action.
most important thing.
No
Okay.
talk, action only.
Yeah, just action. Yes, exactly. Okay, the next question, Rian Theo, what is 4R2P?
Okay, 4R2P is actually waste management. To rethink, reduce, reuse, recycle. The 4R. 2P means pollution management, and also sorry, you asked 4R2C or 4R2P?
I think it's composting, right? Yeah, there's one
It's a
composting.
2C means no. Is it 2C? That's why I say you say 2P. That's why I confused. If 2C means composting and closing the loop. Composting means turn the organic food, organic waste into composting, fertilizer. The closing the loop is something that we have to do, buy back the recyclable or upcycling product. That's what you say, closing the loop.
I guess that's what it means because it's stated here P, but it could be a typo, maybe. We're not sure, but I guess that answers, I hope.
But the river ranger is 4R2P also. That's why I asked you whether he asked for the for river ranger is 2P is what it call protection and action. So I don't know. Maybe you can text me later or what.
Okay, can you text our doctor later if you want more elaborations on it? But we'll just move on to our next question. It's from Mr. Harris again. Has there been any citizen science on river water conservation, and what is the success rate?
Obviously, that's what we are championing. I mean, we are working on this line, citizen science, for the last 20 years. I think MNS also have done a lot of school program, and also WF. I mean, all the major NGOs working on that, and we also working with the government. And obviously, I would say that for the last 5 years, agencies like SPAN, okay, and also DID, even DOE have looked into that. And beside the government, private sectors also looking into this water conservation and also water citizen science and so on. If you ask what is the success rate, okay, that's very subjective, very subjective. Recently, when Malaysia calculated their SDG goal 6.5.1, where we need to submit to the global level, when we started to calculate the success rate and so on, our rate, if not mistaken, increased from 46% 4 years ago to 63% now, but still long way to go to 100% there. Okay, but I have to admit there is improvement in terms of the index for the country, but still not enough. Still not enough. Still long way to go. Okay.
It's showing good sign. At least it's actually progressing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we say I would say there's a lot of good things happening. So we hope that public come and join the wagon and to push things there.
Yeah, make it quicker. All right, thank you for your answer. Next one is from Kathy Ravan. Why are rivers different color?
Sorry to interrupt, Zoe. We have like around 3 minutes.
All right, 3 minutes. I'll try to squish in. Yeah, cramp it in. I think we have 3 more. Okay.
Thank you.
Why are rivers different colors, Doctor?
Because of us, rivers supposed to be clear, colorless, but because of pollution load from the industrial. When we pour your curry into the, I'm not talking about curry when I'm talking about generally, when they wash their plate, their curry, they pour into a drain and it join the river, and that's what color change. Industrial, same thing. So the real cause is we color the river. God said no, it's a colorless. Next.
Okay. Thank you.
Short one.
Mia Akashi, what's indirect and direct water mean again?
I think
There-
I already answered.
Yeah, we can actually, you can look back at the video. I think you will get the answer again. The last question is from Learn Ping. Doctor, do you think raise the water tariff can help improving the water usage efficiency?
I wish I could do that. Although I'm an NGO supposed to say to protect the public interest, but in this aspect, HGC pushing to increase the water tariff because ours is one of the lowest in the world, lowest in the Asian country and so on. I think that's why people take it for granted water. So they don't look into the conservation and so on. So I will say more people should come forward to push the government for the first time, increase the tariff. Always we say don't increase, but I think it's a time for people, public, because if people can pay hundreds of ringgit for telecommunication, correct? They're paying for their line, for the entertainment, 160 ringgit for private channel and so on. But what is it for 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit? People complaining. So I think we should, and DC officially, we are pushing towards that. And for information, the government through the SPAN and also the ministry are seriously looking into that. And I need public to also support them for the first time for water tariff to be increased so that people know you can live without entertainment, you can live without communication, but you can hardly live without water. There's no substitute to water.
The value is too cheap now. All right.
Too cheap.
Yes, thank you. What is abiotic?
Abiotic means non-living things, non-living things. The soil, water, all this. That's non-living. Biotic means living things. Non-biotic means not. Abiotic means non-living things.
Non-living things. Okay, thank you. Our last question is from Sivanathan. What are not one of the elements of river address?
Sorry, come again.
What are not one of the elements of river address?
Sorry, I didn't get what?
What are not one of the elements of river address? So what is not within the river address?
What is not within the river address?
Would you like to declare, or you can email our doctor later after the talk, because we're coming to an end and we don't think we have time for it. Sorry, very sorry. Okay, thank you. I think that is pretty much it. I would like to pass it back to Linisha. Yeah, today we've got lots of questions coming in, so yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Thaidasan and Zoe, for the very exciting Q&A session. Sorry, I had to interrupt in between because we are running out of time. Okay, sorry, dear participants. You may direct your questions to Dr. Thaidasan to his email. All right. So now it's an exciting part of the talk because we are going to announce the winners for the quiz. So okay. So let's play the drum roll. And, yeah. So the winners for today's quiz is, so we're taking the top 5. So we have, okay. Priyam Vada, Anapampan Jaganathan, Kuganeswari Mohan, Padmanathan Raja Ratnam, Kunalan Pubalan, and Angelo Amrish Anthony Raj. Congratulations, you are the winners for today's quiz. So you may contact Mr. Woody and send in your addresses so that he can post you the prizes. So before that, I would like everyone to give a round of applause for the winners and also yourself for participating in this quiz. Give a big, huge round of applause for yourself and also the winners. Okay. Okay. So let me reshare my screen again. Okay. Okay. So in conclusion, Thank you very much, Dr. Kalidasan, for your very insightful talk. It is indeed true that we have different colors of rivers, especially in our country. And that is something that we should be aware of and we should consider. And not only that, I like the tagline that Dr. Kalidasan used, which is river is the lifeline and the drain is the artery. So that is very true. So we have to be aware of what we are throwing into the drain because it's affecting our rivers too, as it leads to the cost will actually impact the rivers also. So not only that, Dr. Kalidasan mentioned that during the lockdown, the water quality improved immensely. So that is what we should do. Even though when lockdown is not implemented, we should also maintain the same water quality as of now, so that we can take care of our rivers and preserve the nature as well. So with that, I would like to say that the next stop would be on the 30th of October at 2 p.m. The speaker would be Kent, and the topic would be Life Below Water. And the wrap up of these Nature Hero Talks 3.0. So there will be a 2-hour forum session. So after you have attended this forum session, you will be eligible for the certificates recognized by the Ministry of Education. So don't miss out on this opportunity, and we meet again on 30th of October. I hope everyone can attend. And thank you very much, everyone. Okay, so a big thanks to our volunteers, our speaker, Dr. Kalidasan, co-host Zoe, and technical support, Mr. Wuti, and quiz master Zoe. So, and a big thanks to all of you for joining us today, and Dr. Kalidasan. Thank you so much. We meet again.
Okay, thank you everyone. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, boys and girls, and also Chagus. Thank you very much. See you all.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you. Do you see that? I'm not sure if is he wrong or are you wrong or anything. Puga
Just a
Bala
moment.
Raman. Yeah.
Because there were like 4 of them who got 80%, and one of them got 90%. Okay, my chat is just a moment. My screen is lagging. Okay. Okay, let me check. Okay, because I have to pick the highest mark and also the fastest to answer.
Mhm.
So I took like 4 of them from the 80% category, and I took Angelo Amrish because it's 90%.
So I guess you were right. As long as we're wrong, we're right lah. Right?
Okay, I think I have
Yeah.
to check back with Mr. Woody.
Okay, thank you.
Exactly.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Zoe. Bye.